Welcome back. Today we're reading chapter 5. Is it A Hamburger Thief? Ha! This should be funny. Chapter 5. A Hamburger Thief. Some 30 feet beneath the rolling surface of the ocean, Popeye propelled himself along by using his rubber flippers. The underwater world around him was dark, murky green. His hand reached up and back toward the top of his air tank to switch on a bright spotlight. The light pierced the dark depths as Popeye slowly turned underwater. He sensed rather than saw something to his left. It was a flick of movement that had caught his searching eyes. He turned so the bright beam would sweep that suspected area. But just then, a giant squid scuttled by, its 10 tentacles fluttering, the light beam focused on the ungainly-looking creature. Frightened, it squirted out a black liquid. Which spread, hiding the squid behind a protective inky cloud and making it impossible for Popeye to see more than 3 feet in front of his eyes. Meanwhile, on the schooner, there was a grunt of annoyance from the galley. "Darn!" exclaimed Wimpy, looking at the hamburger patty he had dropped onto the deck. "If this unstudied craft hadn't rocked, I'd never have dropped such a precious delicacy. Oh, I'd better toss the dirty burger overboard." With a reluctant flip of his hand, Wimpy sent the soiled patty flying out the open galley porthole. He heard it splash outside in the ocean. The loud sound outside surprised Wimpy. It was a familiar and easily identifiable sound to J. Wellington Wimpy. The unmistakable sound of someone downing a hamburger. He rushed up on the deck to see who was the ocean-going hamburger fancier. "Nothing," remarked Wimpy. "Not a sign of anyone out on the water." Sweet Pea crawled to the railing.
"Something must have been here,"
he said.
"Look at that."
By the side of the schooner, they could distinctly see a rolling series of spreading ripples, apparently made by something that had just ducked below the surface. Something had been out there, but exactly what? Moments later, when Wimpy returned to his galley, he gasped. "Who did that?" Professor Findham, Sweet Pea, and Olive rushed to his side. Wimpy pointed to where the porthole had been. Now a huge hole gaped in the schooner's side. "Whatever made that hole," Wimpy noted, "also stole the 2 pounds of prime hamburger meat I had placed on the counter just below the porthole." Findham pulled out a measuring tape. He observed. The hole is big enough for the sea monster's head to have come through. You believe, Wimpy stammered, that the sea monster is monsterish enough to have stolen the hamburger meat? Then it is a threat to civilization. Let's keep things in perspective, suggested Findham. Even if it was the sea monster, we must remember that it's an endangered species. If it keeps eating our hamburger supply, Wimpy angrily replied, I'll be the endangered species. No one's endangered, Popeye declared as he strode in, dripping from his dive. I saw no monster below, just a pesky squid. They all rushed to the pinging sonar set. The machine's ink pen began outlining a large, curved shape. Something big, Findham noted. Very big, and it's heading for the inlet to the Salt Bay. Then we're weighing anchor, called Popeye, returning to the deck. We're going to make for that bay, too. In the submarine, Dr. Stare saw the schooner filling sail as he peered through the backup periscope. They're heading for the bay. Grumbler did not need to be told what to do. His hand swung up, pushing the lever that started the submarine's powerful propeller turning. The sub began to move. Then, suddenly, the whole craft shook. Something hit us in back, exclaimed Stare. The prop stopped turning, gasped Grumbler. Whatever hit us smashed our propeller. The submarine floated idly in place, 10 feet below the surface. Stare and Grumbler knew they would have to repair the propeller. Before they could follow the schooner, they can't get out of the bay without our spotting them, muttered Grumbler. And if that's where they locate the sea monster, it'll be easy taking over. The Discoverer's white sails billowed in a fresh breeze as Popeye swung her on a course to take her inside the narrow inlet. Gracefully, the old sailing boat glided over the smooth waters, heading into the wide hill-circled bay. Below deck, Olive watched the shape moving ahead of them on the sonar. Oh, Olive called. It's vanished off the screen. Findham was standing at the bow of the ship. Look there, he shouted. He pointed to the dark opening of a giant cavern. The bay waters flowed into its mysterious interior. That's it for Chapter 5. I hope you'll join me next time for Chapter 6. Dinosaur bones. I wonder if they're going to find some dinosaur bones inside that cavern. I betcha. Thanks for joining me today. Come on back next time for Chapter 6. See you next time.